Can you hear me? Okay. Your microphone is off. Bottom left-hand corner, you'll see a picture of a microphone. Just click on it.
Gotcha. It should be working now.
Yes, it is. How's it going?
It is. It's going good. How are you?
I'm good. What were your thoughts about our conversation on the phone?
Well, to be honest with you, since that point, I've been absolutely bombarded on the phone from the time I talked to you until now, which is common. I haven't. I've thought about it a little bit. We had a house right down from. I got to unplug you here for just a second, but right down. Well, I don't know if that's the best way or how to. Anyways, there's a house just a few houses down that some people that may have been into some hard drugs or something were living in, and I went down to hoping that maybe I could catch an opportunity to get it if it was a foreclosure. And a guy from a company called Open Door was there, and they had already purchased the home. And it's just one of the unbelievable things going on with the housing market. You know, I'm in a 1,200 square foot, basically ranch house, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And they just purchased that house there for $265,000. The last time I called my real estate buddy, the last time it was on the MLS was in 2001, and it sold for $101,000. So this company just paid them $265,000, and I mean, it is, everything in it is horrible. And I'm just going, how does this work? It's crazy to wrap your. But so I've had a lot going on.
Okay. Well, it's, I don't think we've had any properties for sale here under $500,000, even run down and dilapidated and mold infested properties.
It's insane.
Are over $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
So
the prices here.
I bid on a garage that had an apartment above, and it was 1.5 million. A garage.
Whoo!
Mind you, it was
insane.
a 3-car garage with an apartment above, but it was 1.5 million. So
on how many acres?
Oh, it was less than 3/4 of an acre.
Yeah, that's prices are crazy. So, you know, to me, and I've done a lot of flipping. I've been the construction guy the last 10 years on a lot of those projects. It's where some of my work has came from. So, you know, I'm very aware and know the numbers in housing. And, you know, for a little ranch, this house that I'm renting right now is, you know, should be maybe $150,000-$200,000 house. And, you know, the last 2 years have just took prices all.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
Yeah, your microphone keeps jumping off. So did you try logging in from your computer?
No, so my computer, which usually is in my office, and I'm not sure. I think the company that I met with doing my QuickBooks, I think took it the last time because there's so much stuff to set up on it. They're restarting my company, and like I said, I haven't used QuickBooks now for you know, whatever it's been, 4 years. So they had to literally restart everything, and I spent probably, I mean, just to set residential refinishings up, that guy that I mentioned, Joe Curley, I mean, we probably, I don't know, 100 hours to set up all the estimates and invoicing and accounts receivable, and that's this much of what the program does. And I told them, I'm like, I have to now do job costing. So I think they actually have my computer, and they've got a lot to get me set up so I can get down to job costing.
Okay. How long have you been in the construction industry?
I've had my own business since 2012. From 2012 to 2017, it was a business called Residential Refinishings, where we did, I did my token, my everyday paint jobs, but we also did like some big Hilton Garden Inn hotel renovations. We did one at the Sheridan and Keystone at the Crossing. I mean, we have done, I've probably done 20 asphalt jobs, 20 concrete jobs, epoxy flooring jobs. I mean, we've done a lot of stuff. So I took a lot of criticism. I've read a lot of books and in some personal development groups. And, I went down to the hurricane in Panama City, Hurricane Michael here just a couple of years ago. Didn't have a plan. No plan at all. I did it on a one-day decision. I rented a skid steer from here locally, and it was a learning experience. I did it. One of the guys that I plow with went down the year before, and he made about $100,000 a month running a skid steer. So that was the idea. And unfortunately, I learned after I went down there and was pot committed that Panama City didn't have anywhere close to the money. The year before, it was in Naples, the very rich part of Florida. So my buddy Jason became, if you want to call it $100,000 a month rich. I think that's a lot of money. He did about $300,000 in 3 months, and that was the idea. But at any rate, I took a lot of criticism. People said, Justin, you can do anything you want to do, and you can be great at it, but you can't do everything and be great at it. And I said, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I listened to a lot of Grant Cardone's and I listened to a lot of Jim Rohn, and that's your limited mindset, right? I went down to Florida because I had a pair of balls, and trust me, I'm the one that paid for it. But I went down there after I had a goal in mind. I was looking to make $100,000 a month, and that did not happen there, and that's okay. But if I had it to do all over again, I'd probably do it again. There's a lot of, we used to, the best example for me, I used to plow snow. I just quit a couple of years ago. And here, when my phone charges in just a minute, I'll show you my little truck sitting outside. But we got an account. I remember one winter, I had this plow and I had this truck, and I'm sitting there in the winter, I'm not making that much money. And I'm like, damn, man, money's down and I've got bills and I got to do something. And I looked on the Weather Channel, which I follow, and I saw that Boston, Massachusetts was getting pounded by 17 inches of snow. And I'm like, man, if I could go there, the going rate's $100 an hour on a truck, I'd be rich. I could stay there for 2 weeks and plow. Well, Boston doesn't need any help plowing. Some other places do, but a couple of weeks later, Lexington, Kentucky got a 10-inch storm. And I posted that on Facebook, and the hate that I got, the haters, the naysayers, I'd never do that. I'd never go out of town. You're chasing money. You should be following God, not money, all these things. And what I found out is I went down there in one trip with one truck, and I made $10,000 one shot. And I came back home and I said, I'm not listening to anybody that didn't make $10,000 last week. If you made $10,000 last week and you got some advice for me, then you go ahead and give it to me. But if you didn't, I don't want to hear your mouth. You're negative. You're a naysayer. And there's a lot of you out there. So people always got something to say, but I feel like you have to, just like with me calling the Regal, am I wasting my time? I don't know. I see something that I want. I don't care about anything else. I just go get it. I don't ask questions. Grant Cardone's got a big thing. It's like, don't think, all of them do, right? Jocko, I was just listening to Jocko Willink this morning, and he's like, people want to work out and they think about it. They procrastinate. When I see something that I want, I just go get it. I believe I can have anything in the world. So the Regal is kind of my first learning lesson the other way, because I've been knocking on that door with no response, and I may never get one, but that's just my mentality. If I see something, I just try to go get it until I get what I want, basically. Okay. But there's obviously, I can see you digesting that, going, oh, you are so far removed from the truth that could be doing things a lot better. And I know that there's obviously great wisdom in the way that you're the things that you're talking about. My method is I'm not pretending to be a great at getting commercial work. Obviously, I've not had very much of it. That's just my general philosophy, and I think that a lot of people have bad mindsets. They would never, just like I was talking about Kentucky. I don't think none of the people that I know are going in that Regal trying to get that job, because and that's a mentality thing. Like, they're like, oh, I'm never going to get that job. Somebody else is going to get that job. I don't know. I'm trying to meet if I could have found out the number. I know that guy was the CFO that I sent you. If I could figure out where the CEO is, I would just drive there maybe tomorrow and show up and, hey, Justin with Hamilton County Painting, I really want to paint your building in Westfield. What is it? What can I do? We have the best crew. I guarantee I'll never be a problem. I guarantee it'll be the best decision of your life. How can we make this deal happen so I can show you how good we are? I don't miss with too many people. My closing, once I get in front of somebody, is about 90%. But the challenge, I guess, that you're aware with, it's in commercial, to get to the decision maker, you can't just, I can't walk to the Regal, or I've already did that 10 times. I already would have met him. So I don't know what it is that I need to, obviously it's your system that you're saying of LinkedIn or the things that you know, because it's, I don't know, that one's, I've been thinking about that for a month. And even for some of the other, I know, is your thing, I said something about to one of my buddies that also has a business like mine. Is yours more traveling? Is that a part of the equation for you?
Well, I used to average 5 flights a week before the virus. Some
Yeah,
weeks
so it is.
11 flights. So yeah, being in front
Yeah.
of people is important. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. I wondered if it, because the guy, the buddy of mine that I talked to said, I'm sure that's not local. I used to travel to do epoxy floors, and I don't love that life, but if I'm doing it for a different reason, my comment to him was, I said, there's a couple $1 million on the table that I felt like I was able to go get, I wouldn't stay here. Same as Lexington, Kentucky. That doesn't deter me. I just wondered if that was part of the package, and I assumed that it was.
I'm curious, Justin. If you were on a Zoom call with Grant Cardone, what would that conversation look like?
You know what? I actually called in his show and I went and shook his hand. There's another example. That's what I say. I don't think about things too much. So I used to call in when he did Young Hustlers 5 years ago, when I started reading. That's been more than that now. It's like 7 years ago. And I used to listen to his shows at noon. I think they were on Thursdays, him and old Jared Glant. And he was saying about how people are scared of objections. I called in his damn show and said, hey, I'll come to your office right now and pitch you. You don't have an objection. And he tried to throw objections. And that's exactly what I did. I drove to Florida. I went to his office. They denied me at first. I had to go back to the hotel. I left and came back the next day. It was actually Ken Walls that was talking to me. They were so, and I didn't realize that they were doing this on purpose, but they were trying to throw the objections when I walked in the door, which I wasn't really ready for. But I went back, man, and I shook his hand and I got a picture with him. And that's like I asked about traveling. I came to the realization staying at the hotel. I'm very fortunate to live in the most successful, rich place in the United States of America. Miami's a shithole. When I got there, I thought, what if Cardone says, you get a sales job for 300 grand? I thought I might have to go down there and live. I got there. I said, get me out of here. I hate this place. This is nothing like where I live. The money's not, I don't have bums on the street and everybody. It was like culture shock for me. And I've traveled all over the United States. I've been in almost every state in the nation. Man, I really don't I like where I live. I'm in the best. So it was a weird experience for me. I went from going down there. I was just at my thing. I'm as cocky as he is. I just want to go down there to tell him, if it was your life and my life on the line and we had to sell 10 things, dude, I'd smoke you. I don't care how much more money you got than me. I don't care. You can write 1 million books. When I get in front of people, my passion, like I said, my closing rate when I get in front of anybody that I care about is probably 90% in the business that I do. So I've been doing it my whole life. I could write a book on the things that I got away with before I even turned 18. I'm a salesman, and a sales. When I listened to Seller Be Sold, it flipped the switch for me. Him and I are both on the same level. We both agree with the same things. For the most part, we got a little bit. We got some things that we don't agree on, but for the most part, man, I thought the guy was great. But I went and shook his hand, and it was what it was. But that's another example of, Cardone likes to talk about people that they procrastinate or they think about it. I didn't think shit. I went straight to Miami, Florida, walked right in his office and said, this is who I am. Hello. And there wasn't anything there, it was just, it was about like going to Florida for me. It's just, I'll do anything at any time. I don't have any regard for, I don't think like other people think. I just see a target, right? Grant Cardone thinks I was trying to challenge him. Like I'll go at any time. And if Florida has a hurricane and I think I can go make $100,000 for 3 now, but if I had that same opportunity, I would leave. If I thought there was a hurricane coming and that was going to hit the better part of Florida that had some money, I would be gone tomorrow. Switch all my plans, family. I don't care. I like the challenge. Sorry, I get to go on and probably talk too much.
Well, and we've been on the Zoom call for 18 minutes now. And I'm wondering if that's your strategy. Is that how you sell people? Just talk endlessly? Or, we've been on the phone for 18 minutes, and how many questions have you asked me?
None yet, I don't think. I think we were just kind of in an
asked me if I
introductory.
traveled, and I said yes.
Right.
There was no follow-up question. And the question that I have for you is, if you had Grant Cardone on the phone, would you be telling him all about your life, or would you be sucking his brain dry?
I don't know. I think it depends on what the other person's. So this is kind of negative. I don't like to be negative. I've been in personal development. I don't think Grant Cardone gives a flying shit what I'm doing. I don't think he cares.
Why should he?
Exactly. Well, but case in point, what am I going to say to him?
Not without having. Ask. Why wouldn't you ask him questions? Here's my situation. If you were me, what would you do? That's a question that I would ask.
Yeah, if he answers it, I think that he's a pretty brash guy. I think I listened and followed him enough on Young Hustlers, and I think I asked a question where he had don't be a bitch or whatever it was that he said. I just don't feel like I feel like I'd have a better chance of asking you. I feel like, and of course the guy's multi-millions and all that stuff. I just feel like some people actually answer your question versus don't be a bitch and go sell real estate, see you later type of response.
Okay.
Could be the wrong. That's just my feeling after fall. I get feelings on people. Seems like, for example, you have been listening, whether you liked what I was saying, and you're asking questions you're actually asking me because you want to know the answer or find the information. So we're having a very open conversation. I don't know that there's that opportunity. Now, if I was sitting down with him like I was sitting with you, I may be asking him some other questions. But if you're trying to nudge me to, why don't I ask you some questions because you know what you're talking about? I would love to know whatever you're calling with in regards to commercial jobs and stuff like that. I was just, I guess.
How old are you, Justin?
41.
41. Okay. Is this the first business you've started?
Second technically, but we could call it the first because but no, the correct answer is no, it's the second business.
Okay. What happened with the first business?
The first business I ran from 2012 until 2017 and made such an unbelievable mess out of it that by the time I got a CPA, he said, let's burn that to the ground and start over again.
Okay.
Which was very wise information.
Okay. And you started the second one.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like you're having a problem with your numbers as well on the second business.
I am now.
Okay.
I am now.
See, the question is, why didn't you learn from your first mistake?
Different. So completely different everything the second time around. And it's not over yet. To make things very easy, my fiance has sold everything this year. I think I've been on maybe 5 jobs that I've actually sold. So you know, for the last 2 months, due to some extremely unfortunate circumstances, one of which our 2-year-old son had seizures and was in the hospital full weekend, and then part of a week back in there having seizures. And you know, I don't like to be one that relies on circumstances or excuses. However, it seems like every week since then, we actually split apart, which is detrimental to the business because she's running Facebook, and it's a whole mess. But what I can tell you has simply happened is she stopped. So we get people that book with us. If I come paint your house and I say it's going to be $10,000, I say we require a 50% upfront to deposit, to schedule your job, and then we get the remainder on completion. So we're getting most of our checks are 2 and 3 months ahead of when we actually do the work. That was great, and has been awesome. We've done 285, which was 185 or 100 more than I did last year. So that part was great. But then when the front end checks fell off and all I've had is the back end for the last 2 months, it's taken every bit of money that I've got and then some. I'm putting myself in debt a little bit, and she's kind of getting back on track and selling, but it's a complicated monster. Went from feed me cash to eating all of my cash.
Mm-hmm.
But I listened to it.
How are you creating these leads?
They just come. Our reputation is phenomenal. Our Facebook presence is dominant in our area. If anybody puts a painting post, she's tagged in it. I'm not anymore. It used to be her and I together. She still gets tagged because it's her friends and family and a lot of the people that we work for. But let's say on Cicero Chatter, there's a post and it's got 50 comments, worth 30 of them. We come walking into these estimates where people say, we're not even getting a number from anybody else. There's so many people that tag you guys, just price us. We're not gonna try to contest your price. You're all good. Just give us a price. Let us know. We want to sign the work. That's been 90% of the work that's came in this year. On full, just to the point that it's destroying her and I's relationship because she can't handle all the volume of people, and we've got a remodeling crew and a painting crew, and I spend my entire day. I have zero plan. I just wake up every day and go put out fires. The guys need materials 4 different times a day for jobs, and 5 different people call me every hour, all that have 5 different problems, whether it's my CPAs, and it's like, I just burn up my whole day running around trying to put fires out. I'm not on the jobs anymore. I don't do the work. I really haven't done anything other than that this year. And it's like, I need to sell. So I've got a lot of, some of them are really, when me and Brittany, her name's Brittany, she's on my Facebook. When we separated for a short period of time here 2 months ago, for the first time in my life, I felt like I couldn't sell water to somebody in the desert. I felt like I couldn't sell anything. So it's been a real. So you want me to ask you a question? I almost called Brad Lee. Obviously, you know who these people are. As a matter of fact, I did call him. Ronnie Lambeth helped me fix my credit. I know all these guys fairly well, but I tried to call him because I got into a funk. I got the coronavirus in February. Let me go ahead and do this. And I know, I'm not trying to brag. For me, it's a little bit of something. If I can get this video, I don't know if you can get it to flip around on the camera. Maybe I can't. Well, I'll just walk outside. It's been a real big. I've had some challenges, but off those plow trucks that I had, I went and changed my old 2006 truck to something like that. And this is a joke. This is just a little $14,000 personal car because I have CPAs and stuff like that. But I went and got some good things. We've got some really good things rolling.
Sorry, I thought you were going to show me the signage on the truck. Do you have signage on the truck?
Well, the signage. So the people I just got a logo. I don't think I sent it to you. I had simultaneously those people working on QuickBooks, and then one guy finished our logo. So on my shirt, Brittany is great at a lot of things. The numbers on the back, but I've never set up a website because I don't know if I mentioned EverEffect to you and their $10,000 commitment to build a website and then $3,000 for the SEO a month. But now we're just getting into a whole nother man. Business is so much more than just going out and selling, which is what I started. A $10,000 payroll for me. The last yesterday, they just took payroll out this morning. It was $8,500. I was $2,500 short last night. I had to find a buddy and go get a check. And the last 6 weeks before that, I've got a picture on my phone. I don't have the checks right here, but last week, Brittany handed me $10,000 in checks on Wednesday night at 9:30 at night. So I made the cutoff by an hour, and it's been like that for 6 weeks. I can honestly tell you my Wednesdays are my level of anxiety, and I'm there's not much that shakes me, but the pressure of that is it's a little bit crazy. That's hence why I made a post about commercial work. That's the whole, I'm like, man, if I can get a big movie theater, get a $50,000 or $60,000 or $100,000 rip, keep the guys busy for 4 weeks, whoo, I would feel a whole lot better. So that's why I'm searching commercial.
Justin, how is this conversation going?
I don't know. Good.
Is it?
Okay.
If I was one of your potential clients, what would I be thinking right now? If I owned that theater, what would I be thinking right now?
I don't know. I'm not you.
But certainly you can put yourself in other people's shoes, can't you?
What do you think? Because the way that I present to you and the way that I present to Regal, I'm being open with you. I wouldn't. You're asking me business questions where if you're in control of the Regal, maybe you ask me business questions, but I'm answering a little bit more specific questions, I guess. Or different. I'm presenting. So if you're the CEO of the Regal, the things you're talking to me about doing commercial business or asking me questions are not the same line of questions or the same kind of conversation that I'm going to have with the Regal.
They're not? Why? Because
if they're asking me about doing work for them, not my business and what things I'm struggling with or how things are going or things like that. As far as business, my pitch is easy. We got the best damn painting guys on the face of the earth. And whether it's me or Brittany that services our clients, there's nobody that stays in better. Our reviews speak for ourselves. We absolutely crush. We've had like 3 people cry on our jobs this year. So I'm having a different type of conversation, do a whole different pitch than I would if I'm pitching the Regal. It's just about business where I come in and say, we have the best company in the world and we can do the job better than anybody else. And I believe that in my heart, 100%. I know for sure we are crushing our competition. We have competition around.
Does it really matter what you believe? Isn't it what the future potential client believes? And isn't he extrapolating or making his decision based on your body language and everything you're not saying?
Sure.
So do you believe you are the product of your decisions?
1,000%.
Okay.
I don't believe things happen to me. I think everything happens because of me, both good and bad.
Right, because they happen because of a decision you made or a
Mm-hmm.
decision you didn't make, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Right? We are the sum of our decisions,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I truly believe the construction industry is the most profitable industry, and statistics show that it has been since 1920, the most profitable industry. How you're not swimming in money right now, I mean, I can see why, but there is no reason you should not be swimming in money right now, as you know, especially since you've been in the industry for more than 10 years,
Right.
right?
Will you give me just 1 second,
Sure.
please? Hey, I'm on a call. Can I get you here in just a few? Thank you. Sorry about that. I'm listening.
Okay. So like I said, I started my construction business when I was 17 years old, and it basically started by accident because I bought a house and I don't believe in mortgages, or at least I wanted somebody else to pay my mortgage, and I wanted to build a basement apartment to create positive cash flow. So you had three different incomes from the same house to create that positive cash flow. And the plan was once the house was paid for, then I would move in, right? And the construction business started by accident. And when my neighbor from across the street, or my dad's neighbor from across the street, because I was living with my parents, came over and asked what I was doing, he said I was acting very suspiciously with, all the windows blocked off and, everything closed so you couldn't see inside. And I said, well, I trust you. Let me show you what I'm doing. And I said, by the way, we can have, a total stranger pay 75% of your mortgage. Once your house is free and clear, kick him out. Now you have a free and clear house. He loved the idea. He brought me in 5 other clients, right? So a business is about differentiation. A business is about solving problems, real problems, right? And when you solve people's problems, they brag to other people, and you should be bombarded with work right now.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, bombarded with work. I mean, it's the middle of the summer. You should be busy as hell.
We
You should be
are.
screaming that you can't find enough painters or enough people.
We are.
And you should be booking jobs now for January.
Yeah, I think we're 2 months out, but to answer all of those, even with the Brittany being a loss the last 2 months, we still are. We still have 2 months of work, and to the point that each of the painting guys are trying to bring 3 more people on. I just don't want $15,000 payroll and want to see. I think things are starting to slow down, is what everybody around me is starting to say. So I'm starting to worry that the crash is around the corner. I guess we'll see what happens, but I don't know about bringing more people on at this point. I need to get a hold of what I have, and I think
Justin, please don't repeat yourself for the 4th time. It's not necessary. I already know what you're going to say. The questions you should be asking is, Leo, do you think there's a recession coming? And I would say, yes, there is one coming. Mm-hmm. Then I would say, Justin, do you realize that a company, especially a painting company, can be designed to make more profit in a down economy than the same company can make in an up economy, right? So if we had that conversation, then you'd be thinking a different way. Because if there's a recession coming and your business is designed for that recession, you're not thinking about cutting back, you're thinking about expanding, because everyone else is turtling, right? Everybody else is doing what you just said. There's a recession coming, I better lay off people, we better cut advertising, we better, start cutting our costs. And 99% of the companies are going to do exactly that,
Mhm.
leaving the market wide open,
Right.
right?
That's what Grant Cardone says all the time.
Right. A smart businessman will say, hey, there's opportunities coming,
To
right?
dominate.
I'm going to increase my marketing. I'm going to grab the talented painters that are going to be available very soon. And I'm going to take that opportunity to expand my organization. I'm going to look at my branding because my branding sucks. Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to look at my marketing system, my aggressive marketing system, get some outsider's opinion because my opinion doesn't mean shit because it's what my clients that are going to buy from me, their opinions matter.
Right.
Right. Our
I agree.
opinion don't matter shit. Right. What matters is when you test your logo with 10,000 people against 6 different brands and they pick the best one, now you're not spending $1 million on marketing. You're spending 100,000 and you're getting $1 million worth of marketing because you chose the right branding.
Sure.
Right. You're driving around the brand new truck with no signage on it. I mean, come on, Justin, really?
So what's worse is there's a 14-foot trailer that looks even better that goes with it. And all I can tell you is this last year, because of how dramatically the business is, that the amount of people and problems up until things slow down, I would say 6 weeks ago, has been insane. Nonetheless, I decided to pick the craziest time of all of them. The guy just got the new logo finished yesterday, and I took him a check. So now, even though it's late, the people that are building the website and my trailer wrap and shirts can all now be done with the first correct logo that I've been searching for 2 years. We have these shirts in black and white, and because there's 9 of us, just the shirts alone are about a $1,500 order every time I bought them. So unfortunately, I've spent money, and these are half-assed. This is better than the first version, but it's not what I wanted. Now I have it where I want it, but it has not been tested against other ones, and that's an interesting theory. I've got a black truck and a black trailer, so we felt like actually I posed off Grant Cardone for my idea was to have a 10X hat and do the same, and I happen to like the white and the red. I think it's about the most contrast that you can get. So, but nonetheless, sorry, I didn't mean to get off, but it made me think about the branding and I'm trying, and one of my big things. So there's a way to do things the right way and a way to do things the wrong way. I paid the bonehead to come out and said, I'll charge you $2,500 and I'll build you a website. And he did. And Residential Refinishing's website, look, I had compliments. I had people call me and say, are you a huge company? No, we're not. However, it did this much for me. I didn't get a phone call off of it. It did nothing. So when I talk to a company like Ever Effect, that's a monster, and they say, now you want to let your nuts hang, it's $10,000 for the website and it's $3,000 a month for the SEO. And I went, whoo, that's for me right now. 2 months ago, I probably would have signed that deal, and I should have. Now it's like, man, that's a lot of money. That take everything. If I could, I don't. It's tight anyways, but it's hard to decide now what to do. That's a lot of money. So
why is it hard to decide now what to do?
Because
hold on, let me help you answer that question, because I would prefer if you didn't ramble on, please. And please, you're repeating yourself still. If you were going to build your wife, a custom home, a beautiful home, right? The
Yep.
home of her dreams, where would you start?
Foundation.
Wouldn't you hire an architect to do the blueprint first?
Yes.
Okay. Why would you hire an architect first?
Because you need a plan.
Right. And why is a plan important?
Best way I've heard it described, you can drive 200 miles an hour in a Ferrari in a circle, but if you had a roadmap, you could drive the speed limit and get there before you would driving in a circle.
Right. So in other words, the blueprint, you go through the blueprint process to eliminate all the future mistakes or most of the future mistakes, right?
Mhm.
Because once you lay out the bedroom, then you do a furniture layout, then you realize, oh, I can't get around this bed, so I better make the wall bigger, right?
Mhm.
Or make the room bigger, right? But if you build a house, then you realize, hey, the furniture doesn't fit. Now you have to move a wall, demolish a wall, and rebuild a wall. It's going to be a lot more expensive. On paper, you just drag the wall over and it doesn't cost you anything, right? So the
Right.
blueprint process is crucial to eliminate mistakes, right? So if you need that to build a house, why don't you need that to build a business?
You do.
Okay, so show me your blueprint for the business.
I never had one.
Okay, so you've never gone through the blueprint, the business blueprint phase to eliminate future mistakes.
Nope.
Okay.
I don't. To give credit to you, I don't know that I've talked to a lot of people that I felt like were capable of providing that, where you would find one of those blueprints to me would be, that would be the next question, since you would like me to ask questions. Where would you find a blueprint for a business at? Because maybe you have one, but when I think about people around here, I'm like, I don't
Well,
know
see,
where.
that's the question. Are you comparing down or are you comparing up? Are you comparing your business to successful $20 million painting companies? Or are you comparing to your buddies that are bankrupt and don't even know it yet?
Yeah, that's the big thing for me, right? I probably know 20 me's, and some of them are quite a bit bigger than I am, but I don't know any of them that are millionaires or doing anything that I want to do. They're not in line with my goals at all. So
Right.
it's disheartening. And a lot of those people aren't idiots. A lot of those people are really smart people. It made me feel like, and when you bring up $1 million painters, please show me. Here's another question. Show me where you can find one of these local to me. Show me a $20 million painting
Why does it
company in
have to be local
Indianapolis.
to you? Why aren't you learning from painters in Australia or UK or
They
anywhere?
have a lot of, not to say that I wouldn't, but I'm saying if there's one in the UK, there should be one in Indianapolis. Matter of fact, there should be one in Indianapolis, Ohio, Chicago, everywhere, right? You should be able to find them everywhere.
Yes, you should.
Well, I can tell you, I Googled commercial painters, and I know a little bit about something where I'm from. I don't see any $1 million painters. You know what I see? I see CertaPro. They're probably touching $1 million. Now, personal friends of mine like Kyle DeLello that run a $40 million a year asphalt company, I know some of them. I've never seen a painting company. I don't know of a painting company. I've searched for painting. I've never seen one. I don't. The guy Ever Effect was asking me about the website. Show me 3 websites that you want yours to look like. I'm like, dude, I don't know any of them. I've never seen any remodeling company. I don't know of any. I've never seen it. I don't see a painting company out there. So your Grant Cardone thing, he talks about dominating and marketing. I don't see a company out here doing anything. Nothing. So the big companies around here, even though you're not writing notes and you probably don't care, are Heritage, CertaPro, and Guy Painting. We often come against them on bids, and we often win the bids for more money than these people do. They're the biggest people around here are more of a joke than I am. I mean, so the chance for domination in this
Justin,
market's good.
why are you saying that? Why is that important for me to know?
Because you talked about a 20 million or a painting company that was worth whatever you said, 20 million or 2 million, and I'm saying, please show me one. Show me one of those that exists anywhere close to me.
Why wasn't the question, Leo, how can you get me there? Instead of dragging me to a negative conversation, why didn't you turn that into a positive question? or
Oh, it's
positive
only
comment.
negative. It's only negative if you say no. I would figure somebody could say, yeah, man, it's not hard to find them. But my point being is I don't think they're okay, Leo, do you know of a painting company that is within 100 miles of me that does?
Why does it matter if it's 100 miles or 10 feet or 10,000 miles?
Okay, is there one in the United States?
Well, you
Is
mentioned
it
one of them. CertaPro is
Certis?
a multi-million-dollar company as a franchise. College Pro painters, there's a number of other painters, cutting edge painters. I mean, I can, off the top of my head, if you give me half an hour, probably could come up with 20 different names. But the
But none
point
of,
is,
but
we're having the wrong conversation again.
okay. Well, so I look for evidence in reality, right? If you're telling me, I'm just looking for the evidence of when you say CertaPro. So the first thing that comes to my mind, how many commercial buildings is CertaPro painting a year?
They're a residential painting company.
In CertaPro, no offense, it's negative, but CertaPro is a freaking joke. They sell paint jobs for 50% of what they're supposed to be, and then they pay a sub 49% to do the job. If that makes them $1 million, great, but it's not what I was. Some of this has to do with morals and ethics too. But it doesn't shut me off. I'm just looking for it. You know all these companies. I'm just looking for like where. I have on my own before I ever talked to you. I've been on Google in the last 2 weeks saying, where is a commercial? I just want to see one. And I looked in Ohio. I looked in Cleveland. I looked in Indianapolis. I looked in South Bend, right? Because I was looking for one to call and say, how are you guys doing this? And it's like, dude, does this not exist? Is it nowhere? I was just looking for it in reality. So I didn't mean to be negative. I was just trying to find it.
Justin, you probably have talked to them. There's a couple of people on the same groups that you and I met on that run $5-10 million companies. You've probably talked to them. They're not going to tell you I run a $10 million company. Why would they? Why would they give you their secrets?
I don't know that they would need to give me their secrets. There's a lot of people on there that do exactly that. They get on YouTube. Grant Cardone is the #1 guy. Look at how much free information he gives away to help people. I don't know.
But he's not in a different business. He's in the business of selling or creating millionaires, right? He wants your fees. The painting company on painting contractors is not looking for, they don't make money by helping you. That's not their model.
The only thing that I'll say is it's kind of like if you look on YouTube, there's a guy called the Idaho Painter. I don't think that he is giving away his advice all the time because it makes him money. It gets him awareness. It gets him people notice him through that, just like Grant Cardone gets noticed on YouTube.
Okay,
So
but why does he want other painters to be aware of him? He's not making money from other painters unless he's looking for subcontractors.
I'm sure it comes to him once. I think when you put out content like that and people see you, it comes to you. And I'm sure there's people that call that guy that don't know him just to work for him. I'm sure he gets business from it. I'm sure that opens all kinds of doors for him.
Okay.
I would think that's in theory. Maybe it doesn't do anything.
Okay, we have now been on a Zoom call for 50 minutes. And what have we accomplished?
Not very much.
0.
So what is it that needs to change to me to ask the right questions? I feel like you don't like me. You've been a little bit brash and like you've got an attitude towards me because I've answered things the way that I have. And if that's how you feel, then we can part ways and I can continue to do what I do. I don't like being talked down to. I can tell you that much. When people have this, right, you're annoying, or because I'm keeping it real and saying the way things are. Obviously, my presentation to you, like I said, is different than if I'm pitching somebody in business. If they ask me a personal question, I may not elaborate like I did with you, but if you're annoyed, you know, some people don't like me, right? I'm not everybody's gonna like me, and I don't really give a shit. I'm down to learn. I've been respectful to you. I'd love to learn anything that you've got to, like, you've been sitting there listening to me for 50 minutes and you haven't said shit. So yeah,
Because you
I'm
haven't
just,
asked a question.
I mean, we're on the call to introduce ourselves. I'm Justin. I own Hamilton County Painting. If you've got something to teach me, instead of sitting and listening, you've been happy to cut me off and tell me that you don't like hearing me talk. You're the one that has a pitch. I'm not pitching you. You're pitching me. You're the one that has something to, I don't have a service. I'm not pitching my painting to you. You're the one that's telling me that you've got commercial painting and you haven't said anything. So you're the one that's been sitting there for 50 minutes that hasn't pitched me anything. You've been asking me questions about me. You wanted to know about so this is who I am, right? And you don't like that answer, that's fine, but you ask the questions and I'm happy to answer them. I love to talk. I'm passionate about what I'm doing. You know, like I said, some people don't like it. If you're one of them, that's fine. I only did this call. My time may not be as valuable, but I don't know how much money you're worth. I'm sure your time's valuable, but I didn't come on here because I didn't have anything better to do. I came on here because you said that you were the commercial painting. You took businesses from this to this, and I've yet to hear a word out of your mouth about what we're going to do or what you have to bring to the table. It's your pitch. Yeah.
Well, this was not a pitch call, and I don't do pitches.
I mean, you've got a service. If you're all about fixing problems, that's what your whole call was to do, right? You're going to show me how to get into the commercial space.
If you're asking me how we work, the way we work is we get an introduction, we find out what's going on with the company. When we get hired, we do a 3-day forensic analysis on that company. We look at financials, we interview employees, we look at everything in the company. Then we present our findings. So if that's a pitch, if you are looking for a pitch, that's it. That's the way we work. You already told me you have no money, right? I was coming on here to see if I could help you. And as I said earlier, to push your train, to give your train some momentum. And as your train gets momentum, then I could help you some more. Like I said, we work long-term, right? But you have to understand, you are the sum, we are the sum of our decisions. How many business advisors do I have, Justin?
I have no idea. I haven't asked.
6.
Or you haven't told me.
6.
Okay.
Right? I asked that question because had you watched the videos on YouTube, you would have known that.
What videos?
Exactly my point. Right? A hungry mind is looking to be fed. Right?
This is very
you
true.
say you read, right?
Yep.
But if you read a lot, then when I present an opportunity, the first thing should have been, okay, who's this Leo guy? What does he have to say? Let's look him up on YouTube or Facebook or whatever it is, right? I have at least 60 videos on YouTube to talk about this stuff, right? But a hungry mind would have known that already. A hungry mind wouldn't have talked for 15 minutes. A hungry mind would say, Leo, I'm having some problems. My cash flow is shit. I'm concerned about not having enough work. How can you help me? That's what a hungry mind sounds like. Okay? Justin, I'm trying to help you. You've got a young family. You've got a beautiful family. But your mindset needs adjusting.
Okay.
And your next question should be, Leo, I agree with you. Can you help me?
Okay. Can you? How are you going to help me?
Well, I would suggest we set up another call because this one's a total waste. And in 3 minutes, I need to get on another call or else I would stay on. But if you're truly hungry, if you truly want to make money out of the construction industry, like I said, I made my first million before I was 25 years old doing what you're doing. Okay.
And how much, what's in your bank account right now? There's a question. A lot of people, you want me to ask questions. I'd love to know the answer to that. What is right now cash flow in your bank account?
In the bank account, probably less than $40,000. I don't keep cash in the bank account. That's just stupidity. It's investments. You should ask, what is your net worth? What do you have in investments?
Okay, what is your net worth, or what do you have? And I apologize for not being able to go to YouTube, like I mentioned to you from the time I got off the phone with you. I had these same similar calls the entire day.
Well, I'm not going to answer questions like that, but I can tell you my first divorce cost me $7 million. My second divorce cost me a lot more. And the reason why I'm saying that is to tell you that I'm not perfect. My girlfriend that I love dearly is moving to Mexico. We've been together for 6 years, and I'm desperately trying to change her mind from moving to Mexico because she's scared of what's happening in the political environment in Canada. Okay.
Wow.
So I'm not perfect. And the reason why I surround myself with 6 advisors is because we all have blind spots. You have blind spots. I have blind spots. Your job is to figure out where they are, what and how they're affecting you. But it's easier for other people to see them, especially a guy like me, or Grant Cardone could see them easily, right? But we all have blind spots, and those blind spots are killing you. And probably the reason they're creating the mindset that you have, and the reason why you're not making a ton of money right now. You should easily be over $1 million in revenue per year at this point, easily. And if you allow me, I will show you why you're not. And once you know why you're not, then you can fix it and start making money. Does that make sense? Branding is going to be a huge part of that conversation. Okay.
I can see that.
Marketing, a company without an aggressive marketing system is not a company. It's just a job with helpers. Okay.
That's pretty accurate. I would say that's very accurate.
I'm sorry that I offended you.
Didn't offend me.
It had to be done because I had to get your attention. This, forgive me for saying this, Justin, but the diarrhea of the mouth is bad. Whether we work together, we don't work together, please stop doing that because it's hurting you. Okay. 2 ears, one mouth. You should listen a lot more. You should talk. Okay. Always. The best conversationalists are the people who ask questions, not the people who talk.
I know.
People who ask questions.
I think that's obviously and apparently one of my faults. If you ask me a question, I'm a pretty passionate person, and I don't. Some of those questions that you're asking me are personal. I've been fighting since 2012, mostly on the losing side. I've had some tremendously difficult situations in my life that I've overcame to get where I'm at. So when you ask me some of those questions, they're hard to give a simple answer to that's nonchalant, and it's sometimes I get going, and like I said, I'm a pretty passionate dude, so I apologize for getting.
Now that you know that that's a problem, you need to exercise control, right? So I've got people waiting, but
yes,
my
sir.
suggestion is schedule another call for a day or two, not more than that, because we need momentum, and make sure Brittany is on that call.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
No problem. Start writing down some questions and let's have a real conversation next time.
Gotcha. Thank you.
If you had your tax returns for next time, it would help because we need to have the real picture of what's going on. Okay. Also send me the links to your reviews, where you collect your reviews. You also mentioned, send me pictures of your truck, your branding, your new logo. Send me as much information as you have. Let me see how I can help you.
Okay,
All
awesome.
right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Justin. Have a good night.
Thanks, Leo. Bye.